Hello students, today we will begin with our chapter number 12, Reflection, class 10th ICSE. In this chapter, we'll basically deal with your reflection of a point in a Cartesian plane and reflection of 2D figures in your Cartesian plane also. Okay. Now let's begin with some basic concept here. Here we have a graph and we have to identify a point on this graph. First of all, we have to draw Cartesian plane here. First of all, what is a Cartesian plane? Cartesian coordinate system here. It is a coordinate system that specify each point uniquely in a plane by a set of numerical coordinates. So we have first a vertical line and then a horizontal line. And these two lines intersect at point O. This point O is known as your origin here. This horizontal line is known as your x-axis and this vertical line is known as your y-axis here. From origin O, where these lines intersect each other, from this point when we proceed on the positive direction of x-axis, there we have number 1, 2, 3, 4 up to so on, and here we have negative direction of x-axis and we have number -1, -2, -3 and up to so on. Similarly, on the upper part we have positive direction of y-axis and on the lower part we have negative direction of your y-axis here. And here we have decided our scale factor in the graph here. Smaller box here is of 1 centimeter measure on your standardized graph of 2 mm square. We have 1 centimeter is equal to 1 unit. So we have taken small box as 1 unit here. Now any point pxy on this your Cartesian plane, we have to specify any point pxy. P is any point here and x and y are the coordinates of your point P here. Similarly, we have origin O, the point where these two lines intersect each other. It has coordinate 0, 0 here. So from this 0, 0 coordinate, we have all the direction here of positive x and negative x, similarly positive y and negative y. Okay. Then also pxy point P, we have x is known as your abscissa and y is known as your ordinate here. So P5, 7 here, 5 can be written as abscissa and ordinate is 7 here. Understand? Now we have to locate few points here. First point P 3, 3 here. Now we have a scale factor here, x-axis we have 2 centimeter is equal to 1 unit. Now we have taken the larger box here as 1 unit. Okay, here 2 centimeter is equal to 1 unit on each side here. So we have to identify point 3, 3 in this Cartesian plane. And how will identify this point here? We have point P here and it moved from origin to the positive direction of x-axis because x here is positive. So first we will proceed here 1, 2, 3 here. Then we have y is 3 again. So 1, 2, 3. So at this point, point P is 3, 3 here. So this point is located point P 3, 3 at this point. Okay. Similarly, we have point Q -2, -3. So we have abscissa -2 and ordinate -3. So how we will proceed? We will proceed from the origin. We will proceed from the origin. Then x is -2. This is negative direction of x-axis. So we have -1 and -2 like here. So Q will proceed from -1, -2. Then we have y is -3. Y is -3. So we'll proceed from like this -3. So how we'll locate this point? This point Q is -2 and -3. Similarly, we have point R as -2 and -1 and point S as 2, -1. So we have 2 is positive here. So 1, 2, y is negative 1, 2. So this is the exact location of your point SL. So in this way, we find a particular point in a Cartesian plane here. Now, let's come to our main topic here, that what is reflection. Basically, reflection takes place in a reflecting surface. So we have a mirror in this reflection here. So on placing an object in front of a plane mirror, an image is formed behind the mirror and it is at a same distance as the object is in front of it. So what is the main aspect here, that whenever an object is placed in front of a mirror, an image will form. There will be an image. So let AB be the mirror. So we have AB be the mirror which is placed along your x-axis here. Now PXY be any point. If we take any point PXY, then image P dash X dash Y dash will be the image of this point. Okay, this point has coordinate XY. When we have image of this point, then their coordinate will change to X dash Y dash here. So we have new point as P dash, which will be the image. Remember this thing, what we have distance of image from the mirror will be same as that of the distance which is of the object here. Okay, so this transformation which map a point P to P is called reflection. Okay, suppose we have a point P here. This is the point. So what are the coordinate? We'll proceed again, x-axis 1, 2 and then 1, 2. So this point P has coordinate 2, 2 here. It is placed in front of this mirror. So we have a mirror here and it is at this place. So we have distance between this is 1 and 2 here. This is 1 and 2. So where will have image? Image will be behind the mirrors. If this is a mirror and it is the reflecting surface, so image will be behind the mirror. So image will be at equal distance since it is 1, 2. So image will be at 1 and 2 here at this place. So we have image at this point. And if you look at here, x-axis do not change here, only the y-axis change. So we have coordinate as 2, -2 here. Okay. Similarly, when we place the object at the point, if I change the point at this location here, so this has a coordinate P2, 6. X do not change, but we change the y here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So from the mirror it is at a distance of 6 centimeter or 6 unit here. If I change the location of this point, then the image will always move backward here. Okay, then we have again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So what will be the coordinate of your image? Coordinate of your image will be 2, -6 here. So where there is a point at a same distance, there will be image whenever there is a mirror between these point. Okay, if we have a mirror for this point, then there will be a image at a equal distance from it. Okay, understand? Now understand this. This is a mirror which is placed along the x-axis. So we have mx reflection on x-axis. We denote this transformation from P to P dash as mx. This is known as reflection in x-axis. Similarly, we have my reflection in y-axis and mo reflection in origin here. This we will understand here. Now we have placed the mirror along the y-axis here. We have placed the mirror along the y-axis here. Now, if I place the point at this location. So what will be the coordinate? Again, proceed from the origin. This is the origin. So what are the coordinates of x? X coordinate is -2. And what are the coordinates of y? Y coordinates are 2 here. So what are the coordinates of point P? -2 and 2 here. Since it is placed in front of your along parallel to your y-axis, point is here, and your mirror is here, so image will be behind the mirror. So we have 1 and 2. Okay, similarly it will be 1 and 2. So point image location will be at this. Understand? So what are the coordinates at this position? Coordinates are 2 and -2 here. Now look at here, y coordinates do not change here, only the x coordinate changes from -2 to 2 here. Similarly, again, if I change the point P from -2 to -6, so coordinate will be -6 and 2, then this point again will move towards this location. This will be 6 and 2 here. So P at for the point P -6 2, it has the image P dash 6 2 here. So this is how we transform the mapping here from point P to P dash here. So this is a my. It is represented by my, reflection in y axis here. Okay. Now again, we'll understand this. What we have to understand here, we have to understand now rules, how will change when the mirror is placed along the x-axis and y-axis. Now, a reflection of line in the x-axis here. Now, how will proceed? Reflection of line in the x-axis here. That means y is equal to 0. Equation of a line, y is equal to 0. That means the reflection in x-axis. If px is a point to be reflected in x-axis, suppose, then there will be a image p dash x minus y here is the image of the point P. If we have a transformation in the x-axis plane, or we place the mirror along the x-axis, so in that case point P will be transformed into x minus 1. So what we have to do, what we just have to change the sign of your ordinate here, or change the sign of y here. Here point P is xy, so P dash, that means image will be x minus y. Just change the sign of y here. Okay. Reflection in reflection, x reflection is the sign of ordinate here. Just change the sign of ordinate in case of reflection in your x-axis. Okay. So what is the rule here? Mx, that means the reflection in x-axis, coordinate is xy, then their image coordinate will be x minus y here. Understand? For example, we have point 2 2 to be reflected in x-axis. We have point 2 2 to be reflected in x-axis. Where will be the image? Image will be the equal distance 1 2, then image will be here. So what are the coordinates of point P dash 2 minus 2? Okay. Similarly, we have 2 6, Q point here 2 6. So it is at a distance of 6 centimeter here. So image will be on the opposite side here. It will be equal to 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So location will be here. This is a reflection in your x-axis. Similarly, if we have point -1 3, so x is -1, y is 3. X is -1, that means -1 -2 -3, and y is, sorry, x is -1 here, and y is -3. 1 2 3. So this is the point where. So where will be the image? Now we have changed the position here. If we have point on this side and it is reflected here, then image will be on this side. Okay, image will be on this side. So image will be here. So what you can observe here, we just have changed the sign of your ordinate here. -3 was there, we just have changed the sign of coordinate here. Okay, similarly in case of your reflection in the line x is equal to 0, that is in y-axis. So if px is a point to be reflected in y-axis, if this is a point to be reflected in y-axis, in that case the image p dash minus xy is the image of point pxy. It means when we are placing the mirror along the y-axis here, in that case what we have to do, we just have to change the sign of your abscissa. That means x coordinate we have to change here. If it is positive, then change the sign of your coordinate of abscissa in the image here. Now reflection, change the sign of its abscissa, then there will be the image of that particular point. So reflection in y-axis, what is the rule? MYXY, just change the sign of your abscissa here. Okay, P32 in y-axis, this is a point. So what will be the reflection? Just if this is a object or point here, this is a point here, we have this is a point 32, then it here is the mirror, then where will be the image? Image will be on this side, So what we have 1 2 3 1 2 3 at this point. So image will be at equal distance from this point, that is 1 2 and 3. This is a point where we have the image. So understand this coordinate of this will be -3 and 2. So what we have, reflected point has coordinate -3 and 2. Just change the sign of your abscissa in case of your y-axis. If the reflection is if the point is reflected in y-axis, in that case just change the sign of your x. Understand? Similarly, we have point q -6 4. So where will have point q -6 4? So what we have, 1 2 3 4 5, -6 will be here and 4 will be here. So point will be at this location. If point is on this side, then where will be the image? Image will be on this side. Count from here 1 2 3 4 5 6 and it will be again on this side. Image will be here. Understand? So we have an image q dash 6 4. Okay, we just change the sign of your abscissa here. Understand? Now next main aspect is next we have reflection in the origin here. If px is a point to be reflected in the origin, in that case its image will be p dash -x -y. That means abscissa is negative and ordinate itself is negative. So what is the rule here? Rule is just change the sign of both abscissa and ordinate in case we have to do the reflection at the origin. So what is the rule? MO x y, it will be changed into -x -y. That means suppose we have a reflection of point P45 in the origin here. So where will be the point? P45, x is 4 here and y is 5. So this is the location where we have point P45. So what is the rule here? Rule is to change the sign of abscissa and ordinate. That means x and y change the sign here. So it will be -4. -4 will be here and -5 here. -5 will be here. So this will be the required image of this point P here. This will be -4 and -5. This is the point from which it is reflected here. In that case, we have along the x-axis and y-axis. Now it is reflected in the origin. So whenever it is reflected in the origin, in that case, what we have to do, just change the sign of both abscissa and ordinate here. So we have it. Similarly, point Q -2 3 in the origin. -2 3. X is -2 and y is 3. So this will be the location here. This will be the location here. Just change the sign of abscissa and ordinate. Since x is -2, So minus minus plus 2, and it is reflected in the origin, it will plus 2 and minus 3. So point will be plus 2 and minus 3. There will be a image. Okay, understand? Just change the sign of abscissa and ordinate in the given point so that we have a image of that particular point. Understand? Now we have first category of question here. The point A46 is first reflected in the origin. So we have origin here. This point is reflected in the origin. Now what we have to do, first we have to identify this point here. This is 4, 6 here. So moving from positive 4, 4 here and 6 here. Okay, this is the location of our point here, and it is to be reflected in the origin. If it is to be reflected in the origin, then we have to change the sign of both abscissa and ordinate here. That means A point will be equal to minus 4 and minus 6 here. Okay, we have changed the sign of both x and y here. Then 4 and 6 will change into minus 4 and minus 6 here. Now proceeding from here, there we have minus 4 and here we have minus 6 here. So this is the image of this point. Right, that then again point A is then reflected in y axis. Okay, this point is again reflected. First it is reflected in the origin, then it is again reflected in the y axis. If it is reflected in the y axis, in that case what we have to do, we just have to change the sign of your abscissa here. Whenever there is a reflection in y axis, then change the sign of your abscissa here. So what we have, A dash, which is the image of your A, will change into, do not touch your ordinate here, just change the sign of your abscissa. So we have minus 4, change the sign of minus into minus, minus minus will give you plus here. So we have coordinate 4 and minus 6 here. So this is the coordinate of, write the coordinate of A double dash. A double dash is the, this is the image of this point, and this is the image of this point. Okay, it is reflected in origin and it is reflected in y axis. Okay, understand? So coordinates of A double dash is 4 minus 6. Then what we have to write down, single transformation that maps into A2 minus A dash. Now we have to write down the what is the mapping relationship between these 2 points. What is the mapping relationship between these 2 points? If you look at here, we have point A, abscissa is 4, which is same, but ordinate is changing. Since the ordinate is changing, the sign here, so what will be the mapping? Mapping will be reflection through your x axis here. Understand? If x axis is there, reflection through x axis, so we have mirror along the x axis. So this is a mapping along your x axis. Next we have question as point A 4 minus 1 is reflected as A dash in y axis here. So what is the rule for the y axis? Whenever there is a reflection in y axis, just change the sign of your abscissa here. So this is the rule for change reflection in y axis. We have point A 4 minus 1. So abscissa is 4 here, just change the sign of abscissa, that is minus 4 and minus 1 here. So if this is a point to be reflected in y axis, then image will be on this side. 4 minus 1, change the sign of your abscissa, it will be minus 4 here. Again we have point B on a reflection in the x-axis is mapped as B minus 2 5 here. So what we have given, image is given and we have to find the point here. Whenever there is an image, so we have image this minus 2 and 5 here. Where will be the point? It is reflected in our x-axis. So this is a reflection reflected part here along the x-axis. So image will be on this side, and change the sign of your ordinate here. Just change the sign of your ordinate. So what will be the coordinate of the point? Coordinate of the point will be -2 and 5. This is the way how we'll solve different type of sum in our exercise here. Next we have again question here. Triangle with point A 1 2, B 4 4 and C 3 7 is first reflected in the line y is equal to 0. Then triangle A dash B dash C dash is reflected in the origin into the triangle A double dash B double dash C dash double dash. Draw and write the coordinate of triangle A dash B dash C dash and also A double dash B double dash and C double dash here. So first we have to find the point. What is given here? We have the coordinate of triangle ABC here. A is 1 2 here. So first we locate the point 1 2. Then point 4 4 here. Then point C 3 7 here. So joining these 3 points, we have a triangle like this. We have a triangle like this. Then this triangle is to be reflected in y-axis here. Y is equal to 0. Not all the y-axis. This is reflected in the line y is equal to 0. So y is equal to 0. That means it is reflected in x-axis. So reflection in y is equal to 0. That means reflection in x-axis. So what we have to do? We have to change the sign of ordinate in all these 3 points here. We have point A, B, C. These are the vertices of triangle ABC here. Then we have to change all the sign of these 3 points of their ordinate here. Now first common rule here, to be reflected in y is equal to 0, that means reflection in x-axis, that means change the sign of your ordinate here. So what we have, ABC point, it is reflected in new point, or their image will be 1 -2 4 -4 and 3 -7. We have changed the sign of your ordinate here. Now we locate these point in the graph here. Locate these point on the graph. First point is 1 -2. Y is -2, so 1 -2. Then 4 here, then 3 -7 here. Now joining these 2 points, we have a reflection of this triangle here. So reflection of this triangle will be like this here. This is the reflection of this particular triangle here. Understand? Then this triangle A dash B dash C dash is reflected in origin here. This triangle A dash B dash C dash is reflected in origin. So we have these coordinate here. Now it is to be reflected in origin. So what is the rule for reflection in origin? Change the sign of both abscissa and ordinate. So reflection in origin, what we have the rule here, change the sign of your abscissa and ordinate. XY is given, then change the sign here. Okay. Then we have A dash as 1 -2. This is the first vertex of the triangle here. So change the sign, reverse the sign here. 1 is positive, make it minus. 2 is negative, make it plus. Minus minus plus here. And similarly we have coordinate of this triangle A dash A double dash B double dash and C double dash. So now locate these point on the graph here. First coordinate is -1 -2 here, then -4, sorry, -1 and 2 here, 4 and -4 here, then 3 -3 and 7 here. Join these point. This will be the reflection of this triangle into the origin here. Okay, this will be the. So we have three main aspect here. Triangle ABC first reflected from this to this, A dash B dash C dash. Then this triangle again reflected into the origin from A double dash B double dash and C double dash. This is the way how we'll solve the question of reflection here. Okay, we can have any kind of figure here, 2D figure here. It could be of sphere, it could be of your rectangle here, and first draw the point, then look at the thing what is given here, whether it is given reflection along x-axis, y-axis, or reflection along the origin. Just learn the three basic rule here, and you will complete your whole chapter with these three basic rule here. Okay, that's it. That's it from this video. We'll meet next time soon with the next video. Thank you so much.